I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, this is one of the stories I was supposed to do yesterday, but I held off on it until further information came out, and it has, and it's a good thing I did hold out because this is a very, very sick story. This past Saturday, in Torturous, Florida, shout out Torturous, a 10-year-old boy was taken to a hospital, an area hospital, and he was bruised all over his body. He was taken there by his mother and her boyfriend, these two people up here. Kimberly Mills, age 37, the mother of the 10-year-old boy. Her boyfriend, Andre Walker, 36 years old. They came up there, dropped the kid off. Kid was badly beaten. They immediately started to give CPR to the unresponsive child. After Miss Mills and Mr. Walker found out the police were on their way, they quickly took off and left. As this child, Miss Mills's son, was fighting for his life, unresponsive, they're trying to bring him back. She later returned to the hospital, was arrested, and Mr. Walker had went on a run temporarily. I'm going to show you this story, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit about it before I show you another part of this. There's some sick people out here. Take a look.
I want to get right out to that breaking news tonight. A child is in the hospital and police are still searching for a man connected to this case of child abuse. Good evening and thanks for joining us here on West 2 News. I'm Luana Munoz. Police say his mother is already behind bars. West 2 tonight, Gabriel Rodriguez is live for us at the police station this evening, and tonight doctors were the ones who notified police in the first place.
Yeah, and you know, they tell us that the child remains in critical condition after being brought to the hospital yesterday. Now, take a close look at your screen because Tavares police need help finding this man, a 36-year-old Andre Walker. He has a warrant out for accessory after the fact to aggravated child abuse. Police say the woman, Kimberly Mills, is the child's mom. She's already in jail, charged with aggravated child abuse. Police say when Mills and Walker brought the child to Advent Health Waterman yesterday, the mom was performing CPR on the boy while Walker ran inside the hospital to get some help. We're told the boy's injuries included bruises and burn marks that appear to be from physical abuse. He was ultimately transferred to the trauma center. Police say when they were on the way to the hospital, Walker and Mills left. They say the mom then came back and refused to give them information on how her child got hurt. Officers executed a warrant and searched the mom's home. They say they found some evidence, and again, she was arrested, but they are trying to find Walker. They believe he is driving a silver 2022 Toyota Tacoma with a Florida license plate reading EQUU98. Now, anyone with information about his whereabouts should call Tavares police. Covering Lake County, live in Tavares, Sanaiga Brigadicus, West 2 News.
Developing tonight at 11, a child fighting to survive abuse so bad, a veteran detective calls it gruesome. She got understandably choked up about what happened to that 10-year-old boy. She says his mother and a man ran from the hospital when they heard law enforcement was being called. The mom turned herself in yesterday, and now tonight that guy right there is locked up as well. The abuse happened in Tavares. News 6's Troy Campbell is at Arnold Palmer Hospital where the boy is being treated.
The last update is the boy remains in critical condition here at Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital in Orlando. Investigators saying they're not even sure he'll survive.
He is covered head to toe, He is covered head to toe in various size bruises that are in various stages of healing. Additionally, he is covered in burn marks.
Tavares Police Detective Courtney Sullivan holding back tears Monday afternoon while giving an update on the abuse and torture case of a 10-year-old Tavares boy. The home still an active crime scene after investigators say they found evidence of prolonged abuse. Elizabeth Edmond lives near the home. How does it feel to know it happened so close to where you live?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked because I see a lot of kids walking up and down and going to the bus stop, and then I have kids
Tavares police say 37-year-old Kimberly Mills and 36-year-old Andre Walker are locked up on felony charges of child abuse after investigators say they dropped off the 10-year-old victim at the emergency room of Advent Health Waterman on Saturday night. Investigators say this is a still image captured of Walker before he and Mills took off from the hospital. Once they found out law enforcement was headed there, Mills later returned and was arrested. Walker turned himself in on Monday.
I have not seen children playing but the one time in the about 8 months that they've been there that I know of.
Neighbor Sandra Lee says she rarely saw the two children play outside.
I did see the two little boys playing in the background in their yard once, and they waved at me and my daughter when we were walking.
Neighbors saying they hope both Mills and Walker are held accountable.
I was real shocked when I found out what's happened. It's sad to treat a kid like that.
Also, the boy did have to be airlifted here to Orlando from Tavares because of the severity of his wounds. And again, investigators say he continues to fight for his life. In Orlando, Troy Campbell, Getting Results, News 6.
Some of the sick details about this case involving these two people, Kimberly Mills and Andre Walker. And I hope to God that little boy makes it so he can tell what actually happened to him, because it's a lot of stuff up in the air. And these two fucktards ain't talking. And that's the problem I got out here. You can do some of the most heinous stuff and sit up there with a smug look on your face. I have the right to remain silent. Fuck that. Fuck that. They talk for me. They would talk for me. And it's the thing that's crazy. Yeah, I did something. Basically, all this is in a nutshell is, yeah, I did something, but you got to figure it out. Fuck that. This is craziness. You left your baby at the house. Took one baby, ran back, got the baby. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people know she left the hospital, went and got another kid, and then came back to the hospital, but didn't come back with the man. That makes me think the man was the one that did the shit. I think this is another case of how women choose dick over their kids sometimes. Dick over their own kids. When they arrested her, she ain't saying nothing. Who he was, what her relationship was to him, or where he was at. While your child may not survive, your mind's not on that. It's on him getting caught. I want you to think about that. That's your priority, not the child that you birthed. I think a lot of this, a lot of times, comes from situations where these children are unprotected because of the way the mom feel about the dad. Now, the father of these kids, and I'll explain this, I'll show you this in a second, lives in another state. And now he's there in the hospital with his two children, with one of his children, and the other child, you know, he's down there with his two kids. One's hospitalized. And they said he had an adverse reaction to, you know, he had a normal reaction of being devastated after hearing the news about his child. And he rushed to the side of his child. Whereas this woman didn't give a fuck about it. She ran to try to protect this guy. There'll be more information about this, and we'll cover this story again. It's very early, but I mean, punishments need to fit the crime. And the stuff will come out, and obviously no real justice will get done. But take a look at this police pressure in closing, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Remember, as always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video.
Detective Sullivan?
Okay. Excuse me, that's the stool. Hello, my name's Detective Sullivan. Thank you guys for being here today. So let's get into this. On February 22nd at 10 p.m., we received a phone call from Advent Health Hospital staff that they received a 10-year-old male patient that contained evidence of physical abuse. Additionally, they were performing active CPR on the child and administering life-saving measures. We learned that the child was brought in through the front door of the emergency department after arriving by vehicle with the child's mother, Kimberly Mills, and a male now identified as Andre Walker. Per hospital staff, Andre left the hospital immediately. Once Kimberly learned that law enforcement was on the way, she immediately left the hospital, all while her 10-year-old son was receiving CPR. And just so you guys are aware, this is Andre Walker. and this is Kimberly Mills. Shortly after our units arrived at the hospital, Kimberly Mills returned with her other child. Once we obtained Kimberly's information, we obtained her address, which is within our city limits. Detectives began working immediately on obtaining a search warrant for the house. Kimberly refused to cooperate with the law enforcement investigation. The 10-year-old child was eventually airlifted to a regional trauma center where hospital staff continued life-saving efforts. It is clear to our agency that this child underwent gruesome abuse. He is covered head to toe, He is covered head to toe in various size bruises that are in various stages of healing. Additionally, he is covered in burn marks. This child underwent further abuse that I am unable to discuss at this time. This 10-year-old little boy is fighting for his life. He is in critical condition, and we are unsure which direction his healing will go. There is a high possibility that these charges could be enhanced depending on his outcome. Upon serving the search warrant at the residence, detectives obtained several pieces of pertinent evidence. This evidence told a story of what this child went through, and we believe will help piece together what occurred prior to them arriving at the hospital. To put it plainly, this child was tortured. I'm happy to say that shortly before this press conference, we learned Andre Walker turned himself into the Lake County Jail. Detectives in the community still have questions, and now that we know Andre Walker has turned himself in, detectives will be making contact with Andre Walker. We are hopeful that some of these questions will be answered. Detectives have put countless hours and continue to put all of their efforts towards this investigation. We want justice for this 10-year-old boy, and due to this being an open investigation, certain details cannot be released to or discussed to maintain integrity to this case. At this time, I'm willing to answer some questions.
Apparently this does not seem to be a one-time thing.
Based off of the bruises that we found in various stages of healing, no, we don't believe this is a one-time thing.
Can you say how long you think the abuse has gone back?
It's hard to say, but that's something we hope to find answers to.
Was the other boy, did he have any signs, he or she have any signs of abuse?
That's something that hopefully today we'll have answers to that as well.
Has Andre been cooperative, or you guys even had an opportunity to talk to him at all?
Due to him just recently turning himself in, we're hoping that we can get some of those, any questions that we have for him, that he'll be willing to answer that. So hopefully by the end of today.
If you could talk a little bit about, and you started speaking to, but how the boy who is being treated, how he is doing at this very moment.
At this very moment, he remains to be in critical condition. It's hard to say what direction he's going to go. He's fighting for his life.
Has the mother been cooperative at all? If you were able to share with us?
She did not wish to speak with us.
Is there any history with this family? Do you guys have a call history at that home, or is there a DCF history with this family?
So we checked with DCF. We did not see any recent or any contact with DCF reports or anything like that. We did do a call history at the residence. There was one recent call where mom called in with questions about the 10-year-old boy.
You didn't respond out there, though?
No, it was a call that could be handled over the phone.
Was there any signs of sexual abuse of this 10-year-old boy?
Some details of the investigation I can't say, but I will have you read in between the lines.
The relationship between Mills, Kimberly, and Andre, are they a couple? Are they related? What's their relationship?
Sure. So because she wasn't very forthcoming with her relationship with him or him at all, we're still trying to piece together his relationship to her.
Has there been any outside contact with other family in regards to the little boy that's being treated, like any distant relatives?
So biological dad, he lives out of state. He was immediately notified and was immediately able to come down to be with his two sons.
And, can you speak at all to what you may have seen inside the house upon the search warrant?
Enough that we are able to paint a certain picture that leads us to believe this little boy was tortured.
Was the boy in school outside the home?
Yes.
He was going
He
to
attended school, yes.
It's maybe kind of a piggyback, and you might not be able to answer it, but talking about what you were able to take from the home is, and what has helped you piece together this investigation. I know we talked about burns. Is there anything that you can give us to give an indication of how he might have been burned?
Not without losing the integrity of the case.
If you could speak to the emotions, because I know I spoke to a neighbor, obviously very shocked. Us seeing the details, very shocking, and I see raw emotions during the press conference.
Ask your question one more time.
Your emotions.
My emotions. So, I'm, excuse me, I'm a mother. A lot of us are parents at this agency. So to hear and, you know, based off of what we've seen, obviously this is heartbreaking. As parents, we protect our children. We'll protect anyone's child. So to learn that this child was supposed to be protected and wasn't, obviously is devastating and gut-wrenching. So personally, it's difficult, as you saw. I tried to keep my cool, I'm sorry. So.
For the biological father, what was kind of his reaction? You know, you said he was able to immediately come. What was his reaction, if you can speak to it at all?
If you were to imagine your child undergoing something like this and what your reaction would be, was his reaction. And a very reasonable reaction from a parent that loved their child.
Is he the father of the other child?
Yes, yes.
Was he married to Kimberly?
I don't know. Anyone else? Okay, thank you guys for being here.